Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made for real estate agents and by real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show. And today on the show is our monthly series called the Monday Market Minute with Carrie McCormick from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group with At Properties here in Chicago. Now, Carrie is a top 1% producer in Chicago with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. In fact, in the last 12 months, out of 46,000 real estate agents here in the Chicagoland area, Carrie is in the top 15 producers out of 46,000. That's incredible. She's in the top like 1/10 or 1/100th of 1% of all the agents here. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties. And she also works with a lot of developers who choose her to represent their high-end developments. Please visit Carrie at her website, which is carriemccormickre.com. And also definitely follow her on Instagram. I believe she has the very best Instagram account I've ever seen for a real estate agent, which you can find her on Instagram at Carrie McCormick Real Estate. And by the way, those links to her website and Instagram will be in the show notes, so you can find her there. Carrie, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you. You always have such a nice intro. It makes me so happy. So thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm always happy to talk to you because, this is going to sound like a humble brag, and maybe I guess it is, but that's not really my intention. So I'm prefacing this by saying, please audience and Carrie, forgive me for the brag, but we just crossed over, or maybe we didn't, but we're right on the cusp of crossing over 2 million downloads in the lifetime of the show. And I bring that up because you've been with us almost since the very beginning. So part of the reason why we're now doing even higher numbers than ever before is because of you. So thank you for helping us get to.
That's so amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's an awesome podcast and you've got great followers and, it continues to grow. So I'm happy to be part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. So what's going on this month?
All right, November. And I know we've got listeners not only here in Chicago, but we have listeners all over the United States. So I just wanted to kind of talk about a broad United States market data. And I know everyone knows this, but as we move into fall, our market continues to slow down. And we know that consumer prices and higher mortgage interest rates are squeezing our buyers, and it's just an affordability challenge. I'm even hearing people talk about not only from homeownership, but auto loans and grocery, everything seems to be going up and people are getting squeezed. So right now, mortgage rates are at 55% higher than they were a year ago. It's just, and I was saying we were going 150 miles an hour last year. And now we've come to this, I feel like it's like 50 miles an hour. It's like this screeching halt. We're still, driving at the limit, our speeding limit, but it just feels like it's just so quiet. So it's tough. And just here in Chicago, for those that are here in Chicago, our new listings in the city of Chicago for single family homes was down 2.7%, and it was down almost 30% for attached homes, which is our condo and townhome market, which that's a big number. Our under contracts, so was new listings were down. Our under contracts for single family homes is down 22% and down 28%, almost 30% also for attached homes. So these are big decreases in our market. And I know that Chicago acts like a market within a market. Each neighborhood is very independent. And again, those stats are just over the city of Chicago as a whole. So we're down, so it's a message that we have to give to our sellers. All the stats, all the data, the information, we've got to communicate that to our sellers. So that's important. But every November, I've been doing this for 22 years. I've been a broker here in Chicago for 22 years. Every November, I look back at the year and figure out what I did right. I figure out what I did wrong, and I try to create a business plan for the next year into 2023, because with the holidays coming, it's going to go quickly. Now's a great time to start your business plan. And it can be a daunting task for a lot of people if you've never done one. And I'm going to give you just a few quick tips, and anyone that wants more information or to have a quick phone call, I'm always available to talk to people about it. Not to say that what I do is 100% correct, but what I do, for me, at least it works. So let me give you some quick tips on a business plan. Gather your numbers, and when you look at them, figure out what worked and what did not work. That is the important part of it. So think about the number of listing appointments you've taken for 2023, or I'm sorry, 2022. Look at your calendar. Look at the number of listing appointments that you took. Look at how many deals that you closed this year. Number of buyer appointments. Number of days and hours that you worked each week. That's a hard one. But for me, it's, I don't know if I can even calculate it, but just look at your calendar of the time that you've taken off and look at the days that you've worked. Look at your number of conversations you had each day. Big one is look at your marketing budget. How much money have you spent? And then look at where you spent the money and the lead sources that came from. What worked, what didn't work. And again, just look at your GCI and then look at your volume. These are all data numbers. And hopefully through the year, if you were organized with a calendar or writing things down, this will be easy to calculate. And you're going to quickly see where you spent money and it didn't have a good return, or you're quickly going to see, oh my gosh, I had, these 10 listing appointments and they were all came from this one ad that I ran, or came from the one postcard that I sent out. And then, going into 2023, those are the things that you should double down your marketing money on and focus on so you can get more business.
I'm curious, as you were reviewing, what I would love to ask you, what did you think you didn't do a good, that you have room for improvement for next year? Do you have anything as you're reviewing the year, what you wish you would have done different?
Yeah, I think, I spent a lot of money online, which through 2022, I'm very focused on what is working with it and what is not working, and I'm constantly changing it. So I think monitoring it and not waiting 6 months, but monitoring your online spend monthly is important, because those are, quick stats. You're going to really see what's working and what's not working through engagement, through responses on it. So I think that's something that you do have to focus on. I would say I do a lot of print advertising as well. That's a little bit harder to gauge the ROI. So to answer your question, I think what I need to focus on is my postcard mailings and just mailings in general. It's a lot of money to do that, and I'm not getting as good of return. So either I'm going to cut back on it or I need to perfect it. And I think I'm going to perfect it.
What's funny is the development that I bought that you represented as the seller, your group represented. I was just realizing I've been there a year and a half, and I have not received one postcard, not from you, because I wouldn't expect to receive one from you, of course, but from any realtor or anywhere. Now, understanding that this is a new development that people just moved into, are we looking to move anytime soon? No, obviously not, or at least no. I hope nobody's thinking of moving. So everything's going great. We all love the place, but I would think now would be a great time for another agent to sort of swoop in and be like, "Hey, hope you're loving your place. I know you're, probably not going to make a shift anytime soon, but I just wanted to start a relationship," because we know that a lot of realtors who represent buyers end up the person buys the home and they don't hear from the realtor ever again. Now my realtor was my boss, so he doesn't, he and I did it together. But the point is I wouldn't expect him to send me anything, but not one other realtor. And again, it would take just a little creativity for someone to think about that, but I don't know, seems like a good idea.
It does. And, that's another thing, is think out of the box a little bit. I think doing postcards or mailings, there's templates all over the place. There's companies that do it. They all start to look the same. So you have to be a little bit creative, think outside the box, because, like if you received something a little bit different in the mail, maybe you would open it, or it would stand out to you because it was a little bit different than just a glossy postcard. So again, think out of the box a little bit if you're going to spend some money on postcards. Another thing is think about where you're spending your time and your energy. And this, again, sounds very easy. It took me years to start kind of time blocking and looking at things that got me distracted and figuring out, where do I need to spend most of my time? And what do I, like a time audit, what's effective of my time, what is not effective of my time, and figure that out, and make a daily routine of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It's different for everybody. There is a saying by Tony Robbins, and it's sometimes it's not what you're willing to do that makes the difference. It's what you're no longer willing to stand.
Yeah.
So there's things that our time sucks in our day, right? And I'm just trying to think what it is, but there's definitely things that are not productive, and you really have to realize that when you're doing it, and avoid it or give that task to somebody else, so they can focus on that, and you can do income generating activities.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's you're right. Like, we can't control rates. We can't control buyer sentiment.
Right.
As much as we can try to influence it, it's hard to influence sellers and buyers right now with the state of the market. And deals are falling apart at the last minute. We're seeing a record number of those. So things are outside of our control in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And then there are things that are always within our control, which is our activity. And actually, I have a quick little story I thought I'd share with you and the audience, because I think this is perfectly apropos to how maybe what agents can do right now, while maybe things are a little slower than normal and everyone's stressed. And yes, all of that is true. And there's things you can still do. So this just happened yesterday. It was one of my closest friends and his wife's anniversary. It was their 9th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I knew that. I had put it in my calendar, or in the contact list, a form the contact, I have for each of them. I have their anniversary date, because I was there at their wedding and I wrote it down, or I asked them later, whatever it was, because I thought, this is one of my closest friends. I probably should know when his anniversary is, so that all I could do, and now I'm not a producing realtor. I'm not looking for anything here. I just want my friend to feel that I care about him.
Right.
So I have in my little calendar every day, if it's somebody's birthday, if it's one of their children's birthdays, if it's an anniversary, it's the only way I would ever remember to do anything. Is even my own family stuff is, I write it down, because when is my parents' anniversary? I think it's, April something, but I don't always remember it perfectly. So I put all of my friends' information. And so I sent a text to my friend and his wife yesterday going, "Hey, happy 9th anniversary." It was literally took 2 seconds. And his wife, who I'm not as close with, I don't know her as well as I know him. She wrote me back and she's like, "You are the only person every year outside of their immediate family that knows it's our anniversary, or if they know it, nobody else writes us about it." And it was just took 2 seconds. And I'm like, that is so easy to do. And she was like, "How do you do that?" And I was like, "Well, I just put it in a calendar." And but it's like, there's no magic to it at all.
Right.
But the point is now is a great time to think about your communication strategy for staying in touch with everybody over the next year. And now is a great time to call all your clients and say, "Hey, I'm just updating my contact, my marketing system. I just want to make sure that I have all your data correctly in here. I want to make sure your birthday's on such and such day, right? Great. Okay. Hey, just out of curiosity, when's your anniversary, Dad? I'd love to, just know that, so I can, give you guys a quick hello or something on your anniversary." Like, people will tell you this stuff, especially if they're past clients. I mean, that shouldn't be any problem at all. But certainly the point I'm trying to make is, you want to stack the deck with reasons to reach out to somebody. And it doesn't have to be, "Hey, you want to buy or sell a home?" It's like, "Hey, I remember your anniversary." Like, people care very much when you demonstrate that you care for them, and that you've taken time to build it into your life, that their lives are important. And really simple and easy. So I know I'm talking about this a lot, but guys, this is a great time to just update your database. Call all your clients, say, "Hey, I'm just getting getting some things together for 2023. Just want to make sure I have the right data for you." And you can say, "Oh, by the way, I would even ask, if you'll feel close enough, ask them when their kids' birthdays are. Ask them what grades their kids are in. If not birthdays, ask them, 'Hey, what grades are they in?' So you have an idea, so that when school rolls around, you maybe have a list of people to give some, care packages for kids in grade school or high school or college. Or I think there's lots of cool ways you can demonstrate care that don't have anything to do with the market conditions, and that maybe will pay dividends when people are ready to buy or sell.
I think that's so good. Sometimes it's the little things that matter. And I just wanted to finalize in this our call by saying the 7 tips that I have for marketing for 2023. So I'm going to say my 7 tips will be video, video, video. You have to do video. You have to do video. I know people don't like to do it, or they don't want to be in front of the camera, but it's going to dominate in 2023. So just get used to it and do video. So that's number 1. 2 would be team up with a mortgage lender to strategize. As we are in this market with these crazy interest rates, we do need a professional on our side to strategize. There's all these different buy down programs and different ways to message it. So definitely team up with a mortgage lender. I'm also going to tell you to create a blog, which I don't have one. So I'm going to try to do that for 2023. Newsletters, your website, get all of that in the right place. Refresh your social media profiles. And that's another thing. These are all good reminders for me to do too. Make sure that all of your profiles are up to date and refresh your headshots. There's brokers out there that, I've looked them up online. So I just know who I'm meeting, and I meet them and they look nothing like their picture. So, it's a good time to refresh your headshots. QR codes, utilize those in your marketing campaign to capture client information. I don't know where I'm at number wise, but clean up your CRM. Strategize on a system, just like you said, to stay in touch with your clients. There's different tools, you can call people, you can email them, you can send them a survey to get information. And then I think finally, a marketing tip for everyone is work on your messaging and what your purpose is. I think when you know and you can communicate who you are, what you do, what your purpose is to your clients, they'll better understand you and what your job is to do for them.
Yeah, I agree. All of those are such great ideas. So I think, great time to take a step back from the craziness of where inventory and rates are and sort of say, well, I can't do much about that right now, but now is maybe a time to invest in some more learning, some more skill development, getting the marketing down for next year. And I'll just give this one final tip from a marketing perspective. I say it all the time. I've said it probably on the show a bunch, so I apologize for the review, but it's a great fundamental. LinkedIn is really great at a couple of things. And one of those is work anniversaries. So I was talking about romantic anniversaries, wedding anniversaries, dating anniversaries earlier. But work anniversaries are another thing. So this is something that usually nobody knows it's their work anniversary. So in a way, if you can find out, like, I don't even know it's a work anniversary for me until I start getting messages on LinkedIn going, hey, congrats, right? Like, we never know. Most people don't know their actual anniversary. So another great reason is you just go to the LinkedIn activity feed, and you literally can just check it every day, and you'll probably see when people get promotions, when they get a new job, when they have a work anniversary. All of these are things that people would never expect you to reach out to, except on LinkedIn when they tell people it's their work anniversary. You get a lot of messages, but how about a phone call? How about a text message? How about going a little bit beyond and noticing something like that? And again, just demonstrating care. So anyway,
I love that.
I think it's a great place to wrap up. We should also mention 2 quick things. Right now, I think is also a great time to build relationships with realtors in other markets, right? It's a wonderful time to really say, okay, my clients tend to move or retire to or have vacation homes in X, Y, and Z places. And so, for example, if you're a realtor and you have people that live or that want to live in Chicago some time of the year, or maybe a second home here, or they're moving to this area, or down to Florida or Texas or wherever people are moving these days. Not Charlotte, but Charleston is a big one. Nashville, of course, lots of places are having these big booms. Now's a great time. And so Carrie would love the opportunity to work with you if you have clients that are interested in the Chicagoland area. She's literally one of the very most successful realtors here. She does it all herself. It doesn't get passed over to a team member. It's literally her. So if anyone's listening who isn't a realtor, but just a buyer or seller or renter or investor, a developer who wants to work with a top realtor here in Chicago, Carrie, we could not more highly recommend her. She's the best. Carrie, what's the best way that someone can reach out to you?
Always call me 312-961-4612, or you send me an email at carrie@properties.com.
Awesome. Well, we will bring this episode to a close. Don't let it bring you down, as the song says. This is a tough time. Brokerages are down. Production is down for agents. It's just kind of where we're at. We can't do a whole lot about that except keep moving forward.
Right.
Again, people want to work with people who demonstrate competence and care. So let's up your competence level. Ask more from your brokerage about skill development, knowledge, training, and then ask more from yourself about staying in touch, so that next year you're like, all right, everybody in my database, I have 5 different times throughout the year that I'm calling them for different milestones or reasons to reach out: birthdays, anniversaries, hey, just checking in, how's everything going, school starting, school ending, whatever it might be. Come up with 5 or 6 reasons to reach out, not real estate related, to each person in your contact list, and you're going to have a great 2023. At least I hope so. So anyway, Carrie, and on behalf of Carrie and myself, as always, thank you to the audience. This is our, believe it or not, our most our highest month ever is this month as far as number of downloads. I don't say that to brag. I'm just so encouraged, and it's really, we don't spend any money on marketing. I wish we probably did, but we don't. And so we're so grateful to everyone for telling a friend about our show. Please continue to do that. Think of one other real estate agent, maybe even a new agent who wants to hear, gosh, I wonder how somebody gets to the very top of the mountain like Carrie. Well, this is how. So definitely send them a link to our website, keepingitrealpod.com. And also, again, if you know anyone who's looking to buy, sell, rent, or develop in Chicago, talk to Carrie. So on behalf of Carrie and myself, we say thank you. On behalf of the audience, we say thank you to Carrie. It's so incredible to get somebody of her skill level and her busyness level to be on our show for years and years now. We are so internally grateful. Oh, we're so thankful. So anyway, I'm Carrie. Thank you again. And we will see everybody on the next episode.
Thank you, guys.